Good morning. It's December 24th, 2020, Christmas Eve. And I was prompted to do a little video this morning from a tweet that Martin Geddes had did uh, about William Cooper. And thought it was what I wanted to say was too long for a tweet or thread, so I decided to make a little video. I bought Behold a Pale Horse in early 1993. Paid $28 for it. It was actually the second book that I read after Rod vanished. The first was The Unseen Hand by Ralph Epperson. As I was trying to figure out what was going on and what happened to Rod and what we were dealing with. My wife and I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours listening to the shortwave radio and listening to William Cooper and his show, The Hour of the Time. He was a big part of my development. So anyway, there was a few things. As I thumbed through this, I realized that over the years I would throw things in here that were prevalent or, that kind of bolstered what Mr. Cooper was saying. So first of all, I'd like to share, I had put this in here in March of 2006, and this is a little piece that I printed off from rents.com, and it was called Cooper, Close Friend Says Bill Murdered in Cold Blood. Doyle Shamley lost his good friend on a blackened night in November of 2001, as activist William Cooper was brutally murdered in an ambush by minions of the New World Order. Make no mistake about it, said Shamley, the author of the nation's best-selling underground book, Behold a Pale Horse, was gunned down in cold blood at his rural home in the Arizona's desert in a plot, Shamley vehemently contends, hatched by Illuminati higher-ups, wanting desperately to erase Cooper from the planet for getting too close to their demonic secrets. Justice, of course, has never been served in Cooper's case, since getting the real culprits behind the Illuminati hit squads is like trying to plant a bed of roses in an asphalt parking lot. I can relate to that. But nonetheless, Shamley has tried to pick up where Cooper left off, despite the danger, banging away at the New World Order's mass global genocide plan daily by continuing Cooper's old radio show, The Hour of the Time, as well as spewing out intelligence information gathered by the Truth Seeing pair on his website, houroftetime.com. Although Cooper's activities and writing speeches are well documented in the patriot community, many may not realize that Shamley and Cooper worked together from day one, using a combination of their research and a fight that started in their fight that started in the 80s to alert a naive American public about the Illuminati plans to crush America. I wrote in my book on November 6, 2001. Tuesday, William Cooper has been shot dead. First heard on John Statmiller, then Steve Quayle's show. Apparently, Apache County sheriffs lured him away from his home. A spot down at the end of his long driveway where local young people go to party. 11:30 p.m. Arizona time. Early Tuesday a.m. our time. He tried to leave in a car. They cut him off. He tried to get out of his car and walk back to his home. They started shooting. He hit a sheriff twice in the head, was in critical condition, is now dead, they say. They shot Mr. Cooper dead at the scene. They say they were trying to arrest him on 3 felony charges that were quite old. They also said that he was a fugitive from justice and was on the U.S. Marshal's most wanted page. Even though I didn't always agree with William Cooper, he was a big part of my development. He loved freedom in this country. I listened to his show many hours over the years. We are living in strange times. Tim Holtham. So I wrote that in this book on November 6th, 2001. One of the things in the book that I'd like to share is, like I said, over the years I put newspaper clippings and such in the book. On page 72, William Cooper talks about Galileo. He says, the spacecraft called Galileo is on its way to Jupiter, a baby star with a gaseous makeup exactly the same as our sun, with a load of 49.7 pounds of plutonium, supposedly being used as batteries to power the craft. When its final orbit decays in December of 1999, Galileo will deliver its payload into the center of Jupiter. The unbelievable pressure that will be encountered will cause a reaction exactly as occurs when an atomic bomb is exploded by an implosion detonator. The plutonium will explode in an atomic reaction, lighting the hydrogen and helium atmosphere of Jupiter and resulting in the birth of the star that has already been named Lucifer. The world will interpret it as a sign of tremendous religious significance. It will fulfill prophecy. In reality, it is only a demonstration of the insane application of technology, which may or may not even work. So in 1993, so this was from the Bangor Daily News, the July 31st, August 1st edition of 1993, so it was the weekend paper. It's an article on Jupiter is the target of a comet. And I'll just read it says, the crash of 94. The anticipated collision of comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 with Jupiter next July, so that would be July of 1994 is when they're expecting this to happen. May be one of the celestial events of the century, releasing energy equivalent to the impact that may have wiped out the dinosaurs on Earth 65 million years ago. And then in June of 1993, I cut out another piece. It looks like it was in the weekend paper also. A real spacecraft looks for life on Earth, and basically it talks about on its long journey to Jupiter, the Galileo spacecraft has flown twice around the sun, passing very close to Earth. So just an article about Galileo that stuck out to me because of what I read in William Cooper's book in regards to Jupiter. And then finally, here's one from the Portland Press Herald. So that's the Portland, Maine Press Herald, Thursday, July 13th, 1995. It says, Galileo orbiter releasing probe to fall to Jupiter. 6 years after its launch, the unmanned Galileo spacecraft is entering the final phase of a $1.6 billion suicide mission to penetrate the unexplored atmosphere of Jupiter. Galileo's 747-pound cone-shaped probe was scheduled to separate from its orbiter at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time today and begin a 147-day, 50 million mile free fall to the biggest planet in our in the solar system. Barring any problems, the probe will make a 75-minute plunge into the planet's atmosphere on December 7th, piercing Jupiter's dense clouds. The heat and pressure will destroy the spacecraft, but information transported during this dive could shed light on the origins of the solar system. So, were they planning the big event? Interpreted as a sign of tremendous religious significance. So was the New World Order, the pedophiles, planning this event, and it didn't work. Anyway, I thought I would share that with you this morning, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.